So cold I have to heat up my freaking thermostat with the torch just to get the heater started. Today I wanted to show you guys a little project I've been working on. It's a weld positioner. If you don't know what a weld positioner is, basically all it is a chuck with a motor. It rotates parts as you weld. You can use them for a lot of things. Like I actually been using them to put never sees on bolts. You just put them in there, spin them, and you can get like a really consistent layer of anti-seize. The reason I'm building this is because I want to increase the quality of my welds. If I do any kind of round work, you can make some pretty sweet looking welds with a welding positioner. This thing I would say is about 50% complete. I want to show you a couple of the parts that I've already built, including this case, the shaft with the plate that the chuck mounts to. These are actually going to be my brushes. So there's the inside. Let me show you a couple things. These are just pillow block bearings, 1 inch. This is actually a piece of pipe that I machined down. It was I think it was 1.25 inches on the OD. I machined it to 1 inch to fit these pillow block bearings. This is just a DC 12 volt DC gear motor. I got this off eBay for 50 bucks. It's brand new. I did go with the 12 volt because I was a little nervous to go up to a higher voltage. Plus you can get cheap speed regulators for a 12 volt system. I laid out this bolt circle to mount the chuck to. I machined this bracket to fit the DC motor. These I just got at a local hardware store called Marshall's, which is such a dope store. If you're near Salt Lake City, you got to check the place out. It's awesome. So far, I'm only into this project less than 200 bucks. I paid $30 for this chuck. Whoa. These were about 10 bucks each. I had the pipe, I had the plate, I had the fasteners. I paid 50 bucks for this. The chain was cheap. It was like 10 bucks. Both the gears were pretty cheap. I think they were only like five bucks each. I had this material that I made this shroud out of. Originally, I was gonna go with the Arduino setup and use a stepper motor, but the reason why I decided not to go that route is because I'm not very good at coding Arduino. It's something that I really want to learn, and I'm hoping down the road I can use it for other projects. Tried and true type of setup, so we'll see how she runs. I can't wait to make a weld with it. So here's the electronics that I'm going to be running. Don't judge me, this thing is pretty cheap. I think I only paid $5 for the power source. Like I said, this was like $10, $15 tops. It's pretty cheap. This here, I originally planned for it to be right there. So I set it in there. My first thought is that thing probably needs to be shielded because you're gonna have some pretty high current going through here. So what I did to shield this is I went into SketchUp. I made a simple model of a box that will shield it all the way around. I put some holes for these wires, and then I 3D printed it. Here's the box. I mean, it's not perfect, but I put some holes in the top to vent it. So let's see how she fits. You can see the inside. I like how the infill has a checkerboard pattern. So this should just fit. If you can kind of see what I was doing there, that this goes to this hole. This small plug here goes to that hole, and this big plug on the end goes in that hole. Ooh, that fits tight. So you can see you can get to your plugs. This I'll just have to feed through this hole. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Got to get out the old strippers. Got the good old Hazard Freight. Okay. So now we've got power from our controller to our power source. No. Shit. Come on, you piece of shit. All right, now I want to hook up the motor. Oh shit. Well, I found a problem. You can see that you can only see one connector through there. When in doubt, chisel her out. Nothing a little carbide can't fix. Tummy sticks. Come on, you piece of shit. All fixed. Come on, baby, don't strip. What the frick? Funny story, this connector on my 3D printer melted. There wasn't a good connection. I almost caught my damn house on fire. Scared me half to death. Luckily, that 3D print, I was sitting there babysitting the machine. So for now on, I don't trust my 3D printer at all by itself, which sucks because now I can't do 20-hour plus prints. Go ahead and put the lid on. Everything's connected. That's fancy. And contact. No fire. Forward. That's actually as fast as it can go. And reverse. Full speed. That's about as slow as... That's as slow as she goes there. I wonder how much... She's pretty torquey. So I kind of want to show you a little bit about my brush system that I designed myself, which this is all trial and error, and I'm not no professional, but I think it'll work. We'll see. Basically, all I did is I took some copper, machined this notch in it, which is 1 inch. The radius is 1 inch to fit the shaft on the positioner. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to have some springs on this bottom side and these springs on the top side. You can see I might have to get some heavier springs. I'm not quite sure. I've been kind of just doing this by ear. But basically what's going to happen is there's going to be 2 holes here for these bolts. There'll be 2 springs under this part. Once that's all set up, you're gonna have some spring tension pushing up on this one, spring tension pushing down on this one. There'll be a cable, I think I got 8 gauge cable, or maybe 4 gauge that goes from here to here. And well, actually, it'll be on this other side, and this will actually be all the way to this side. There'll be cable from here to the bottom one, and then cable from one of these to a bulkhead fitting, bulkhead connector, this, that'll be in the shell. And that's where I'll hook my ground for my welder. I'm not really sure if that's the best design, but that's what I've come up with. I've looked on the inside of a couple positioners that we have at work. They have similar systems. A lot of people run those braided belts around. I think that works, but I'd feel better having almost a whole 2.5 inches worth of contact on the shaft at all times. I'm not really sure how this is going to react. I think it'll be fine. But the reason why I made that hollow, well, you can't see because the truck's closed. But if you ever have to weld like long round stock, like say you were welding on a 1/2 inch bolt, you can run it all the way through because that's hollow. Well, that's a short little overview of what I've done so far. I'm definitely going to keep you in the loop on what's going on. I'm going to try to just make some videos as I finish this thing up. This is going to be powder coated along with the chassis and the legs that I haven't built yet. I haven't really decided what color I'm gonna powder coat it. I was thinking flat black with some gloss lettering, which would be sweet. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.